Richard, it's been a while since you guys had a practice in here. Basically, a lot of moving parts since then. Just what was it like just to get everybody, in a situation like this again?
Yeah, practice time is needed. It was productive today, and we have to use it wisely.
I know we talked about this a couple times, but I mean, how have you seen Jay and Isaiah and just the center position evolve? I mean, both of those guys have seen a lot of growth, I think, in the last couple of weeks. How have you seen each of them take further steps?
A lot of progress. Doesn't matter who starts. It's a tag team thing. It's a brotherhood thing. Those guys' job is to hold down the fort. Tony's included in that too. So it's just important that the spirit is, we just find a way to get it done. In the Chicago game, both guys played well. That was key.
How did they both each learn to play with various combinations? Like you said, it doesn't matter who starts. You got them. Each of those guys working with starters. Each of those guys working with backups. They've been in all kinds of combinations. How have they improved as far as that?
Yeah, it's we shuttle them back and forth with the different groups. So the various groups can work with both players because there are differences. And the guys have done a good job of recognizing, the subtle differences when each guy's on the court. Both guys have tremendous strengths that they play to. They really work hard at, and our job as a staff is to, try to put everybody in the best position possible.
I know you talked at the beginning about Jay having to get used to the level of conditioning required. It seems like he's done that. I mean, how have you seen him grow in understanding the pace, the level of aggression, all those kinds of things that are required, and how has he grown into that over, playing through it during the course of the game?
Well, there's no substitute for actually being out there and experiencing how we play. Our style is a little different right now from what it was last year, but still we're an aggressive team. We're aggressive on both sides of the ball. Running and conditioning is really important. And as it's gone along, the staff, myself, have gotten a better feel for when guys kind of reach the threshold, when they're need one, come out, whatever. And those guys, they're doing it as a group. It takes a village.
How much? I was just one more on Jay. I mean, obviously, he's starting to get shots to fall. A lot of rim protection there. How much of each of those elements made an impact? Did you have, the spacing there with the five man that can shoot? That he's kind of established that.
Yeah, he's unique. He's a 7-foot guy that can shoot at long range. He drives the ball well. And of course, the rim protection is something that we've known about, and he's up there in the league. So all those elements are vitally important to us. And I just think there's a lot more growth to be had with Jay and Isaiah. They're both young guys. Jay's 25, 26, and Isaiah's 24, whatever it is. So these guys are still young. They're terrific people. They work hard at their games, and I think they appreciate being here.
A natural part of the question with the new players like Jay is how do they fit what they're doing. The other side of that exists too, though, like the other players working in a way to help them fit the best they can. Even you as coaches have to look at that. What's that process like of seeing what is and isn't working and adjusting what even is established and works to make sure those new players can be as successful as possible?
Well, if you're talking about internally, what do the players do to help a new guy? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. I mean, that's the internal leadership of the team, and for the last couple of years, it's been Tyrese and Pascal, and really Drew has become part of that, and now Mathurin's one of our leaders, and so all these guys, this has got to be a brotherhood. Playing in NBA games is a great privilege, but it's not easy. It's not easy. Coming to a new team is not easy. And so our guys do a very good job of welcoming new players, helping them adapt to the style, the city, all those kinds of things. and we're a work in progress with all this.
Was Quentin able to do anything today?
A little bit. He's going to play now, I think.
I think you said with Cam that this similar injury thing, that for him it's still out conditioning now more so than the back. Is he able to practice with you guys at full capacity? What's his kind of status with that?
He did non-contact stuff today. I don't think he's scrimmaging live yet, even on the side. But he's getting there. He's getting there. I would think sooner than later he'll be back out there banging and all that kind of stuff. But he's making progress. He was in a lot of the non-contact stuff, offense and defense today. And so I know he's very anxious, very excited to be back on the floor and feeling 100% finally.
I think you said 3 weeks ago was 4 weeks for Aaron. Do you still feel like that timeline's about going to be what it is? Where's he at with his recovery right now?
There's no timetable. I mean, I think, how long has it been?
3 weeks and 2 days?
About that, yeah.
It was on a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a while. Hopefully not too long. It would be great if he could be back playing sometime this month. And he's making great progress with no setbacks. So time will tell, but I don't have any kind of a set timetable for you.
Chicago's a really good offensive team. 2 games in a week that you played really well defensively against them. Was there a common theme to those 2 matchups, those defensive efforts?
Get back on defense was a big part of it. We did well in both games. We did good things offensively that helped our defense as well. So, look, I mean, Sacramento has got 2 Hall of Famers on their team, DeRozan and Westbrook. They got Monk coming off the bench who's explosive. They got Levine who's been an all-star, who's had 42 points last night. And they smashed Miami last night. And they got Murray, they got a bunch of guys. This guy Renault is a very good young big with very skilled. So, it's a lot of the same tasks. Transition defense, individual guard your yard type stuff. We're going to have help ready, but with the way the game is today, if you got to run around double teaming too much, there's guys stepping into wide open shots all over the place. So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, and watching their game against Miami was impressive. To see them have that kind of performance. Miami's been playing great and having a great year, so credit to them.
2 games against the Bulls, you guys played really well, and I know over the last couple weeks, a couple off games, but team defense has improved. When you're playing well defensively, what's happening?
I think that we're able to get some stops. It's the most important thing for us, because I feel like our offense is just gonna keep improving. I mean, it has to improve, right? So as long as we have our defense, at a very high level, our offense is just going to be equivalent as our defense.
When I asked Rick a similar question, the first thing he said was getting back. I mean, how much is that sort of ingrained in everyone's head? Shot goes up if you're not crashing, so you have to get back. And how have you personally improved in that area?
It's been very, very important for us. I think that we've given up a lot of points on transition defense, and I feel like that's been a main point of emphasis for us to cut out. And I feel like we've been doing a good job.
What would you say about Ethan coming in first real rotation minutes, and then he's closing the game out against Chicago?
It's been good, man. I'm very, very happy for him. I told him that he gets the opportunity to go out there and to make a name for himself. So I'm very, very happy for him to be able to have the experience. You know what I'm saying? He's been grinding the past few years a lot to make it to the to the NBA, and he's been off to a good start.
How do do you think you and Drew have come to work together as far as defending? You know, you guys were both defending top players, getting top assignments. How are you guys working with that? And what have you learned from watching him over the years of what it takes to defend those caliber players?
It's been fun, man. It's been fun. You know, just watching Drew. He's a great player. You know, both sides of the ball, but especially defensively. So I'm just trying to. Trying to buy into, tricks that he has defensively, and watching him, like you said, watching him over the years has just helped him. So it's been good, man. Me and Drew, we've built a connection, between guarding the best players, and if I feel like I can really guard the best player at the end of the game, then I'm taking the assignment, and he's willing to take the assignment as well.
What's the most important thing you've learned from him? I guess what do you think makes him as good as he is, and what are the things that you looked at and said, I want to be able to do that?
I would just say his level of focus. You know, just being able to get the job done. He doesn't really complain too much. You know, so it's good to have a teammate like him who just goes out there and fight till the end of the buzzer. So, it just says a lot about him.
And last game you were 28, but it was your first game with more than 25 this season where you didn't have 10 in any quarter of the game. I mean that to say that you feel like you're getting better at figuring out your shots within the flow of the offense without, having the ball and handling situations as much. Do you feel that this season?
For sure. I think that's been, somewhere where I wanted to improve. It's not going to happen overnight. I think that having my teammates around, just looking for me, it's been wonderful. Hopefully they keep looking for me. Playing with this guy right here, he never passed me the ball, man. He just start passing me the ball. He's very, very annoying. But this guy right here, man. We good though.
Since you brought him up, in general, how has he displayed leadership qualities this season with everything that's happened?
He's been good, man. He's been good. I don't want to say surprisingly because he's been a winner. He's won a championship, so and we just went to the finals. It takes a lot to have someone on the team who who not necessarily only score but plays great defense and is a great voice out there. So it's good to see that you can have such a great attitude even if things are not going your way.
I know we've talked a few times this season about just your growth into playing with the team and everything like that. I mean, where do you feel like you've taken just the biggest steps in figuring out your role with this group and just operating with this team?
I think it was a team thing. I think I needed to figure out how to just fit into the framework of the team. It's a pretty well established group, even though I know we've had a lot of guys in and out. And I've just tried to make sure that I always try to figure out what's best for the team and what I do, and I think we've figured that out.
What did that take, I guess, in terms of what did you have to?
Time.
Yeah.
I think some of it was just time. Some of it was, we made some adjustments here and there, but I think a lot of it was just time.
How big is it just making shots? I mean, just once you can get a couple to go down,
helps.
It works with space, but it works with spacing.
Yeah.
They're looking for you. I mean, how much does seeing a couple down sort of create a domino effect for making everything else fit?
Yeah, I think that once we figured out how to fit that into our offense, I think as far as shooting, spacing the floor, everything like that, I think that made a big difference as far as getting other guys open shots, open drives at the rim. One more passes. It provides a lot of extra space.
Thought is made up when you're a new player on a team about how you would fit into what everybody else does and you potentially adjusting to their style. What have you thought of how your teammates have tweaked what they do already to help you play the way you want to play?
Yeah, they've definitely made some adjustments. I think just playing with me on the perimeter, we me and Isaiah and Tony, we all do different things, and so having to I guess figure out what to do when one of us is on the floor versus when the other. Everybody's had to learn a little bit and make those adjustments, which they've all done really well.
Without getting into secrets, is that like in the film session? Is that playing together chemistry? What is that?
It's a mix of everything. I think, like I said, it took time early on. I think, eventually, with some of it was just practice time and just going through it offensively. Sorry, foot's starting to get a little sore. I'm going to stand up straight, actually. But yeah, just making the adjustments in film and in walkthroughs, practice, whatever else.
Say the last 3 weeks, you take out the Cavs game and the Nuggets game, defense has been much, much better.
Yeah.
When you're playing well, what is working, and maybe if you think of those two games, where was it
I think a lot of it's just how connected we are. Our defense relies a lot on that. I think, our guards, defend really, really well. I always tell them if their man gets past them, send him to me. I try to clean up everything else like that, but those guys are the ones that are out there just defending their butts off and sliding hard and getting through screens. But I think overall, like there's days, like the 2 games you mentioned, like we just a little bit off. I think it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but I think we just kind of figured out, hey, we need to stick together, do the little things well. It's not usually one big glaring thing. It's usually a string of little things.
Rick has mentioned the transition part.
Yeah.
You're probably someone that's allowed to crash, but then everyone else has to get back. Is that?
It depends. I mean, like if there's rules and stuff for that. And I won't get into that, but typically I think right now, there's guys that go crash, and it depends on where you're at on the floor. But we're trying to work on just improving our transition defense, making sure nobody gets behind us.
I think we talked at the beginning about what it took to get used to the pace and the level of conditioning that's required. How long did it take you to feel that? Because obviously it's not an issue anymore. How long did it take you to feel like, okay, I can run with this?
I think once you get through like the preseason, early games, like it's easier. I also think like the more minutes you play, the easier it is, if that makes sense. With like rotations being what they are, sometimes it's hard to get accustomed to, and for guys that are in and out of the rotation and stuff like that, which I have been a lot, that's difficult. And so I think for me, just trying to do the extra stuff on the outside, everything like that, making sure I do stuff off the floor, everything like that, I think it's important.
How have just the 3 of you centers? Yeah. How have the 3 of you centers sort of? How do you guys operate together? Basically, I mean, how have you gotten? It seems like you guys had a sense of what the assignment was to start with, and the importance of operating like a team, even if you've been working on the floor at the same time. How has that worked? Basically, how have you guys pushed each other, and how is that dynamic?
It's a great group. I love those guys. We talk a lot about like what's going on the floor. Usually we're just chatting anyways. Like it's a fun group to be around. We're all rooting for each other. It's exciting seeing those guys do well. And like I said, we all do something a little different, and I think that means that there's going to be games where one of us needs to play more than the other, or vice versa. Like it's pretty great.
I would say what's the last week been like, but really what's the last 48 hours been like since you played in that game? And I'm guessing your phone was a little busy on Saturday.
Nah, for sure it was. I mean, it was good to get a lot of love, and especially the opportunity to be able to go out there and compete. And then just the love I got after the game, I felt good for sure. And then, but got to keep working and keep going from here.
I'm guessing in all levels of basketball, you've gone back and looked at the film. So what was the film review like for you as you evaluated your play Friday?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that I was. It looked like I was in pace with everybody on the court. Just did my best trying to be in the right spots. There was a couple play calls I got to clean up, but other than that, I think moving in the right direction.
What's the hardest thing to learn? The offensive schemes or the defensive principles?
I'd say just the terminology of it all. Really, I think. Offense, once we start playing in that pace after stuff, we get, moving, and then it's just basketball after that. So that comes pretty naturally. But like the terminology, every team got different, they call it different actions, one thing. So learning that, and then not saying my old team's action and saying, this one. So
what was the one person or message you got maybe in the last 48 hours that's you'd like to share? That's a good message. I
mean, I got a group chat with my whole family. So like they all sent a good message saying that they're proud of me and to keep working. So every message was much appreciated.
Everybody who reaches this level has belief in themselves as a player, obviously. But what does a game like Friday do for your confidence? No,
for sure. I mean, it definitely feels good to play some real minutes and get that under your belt, and then to be able to produce as well in those minutes proves to myself that I can do it and I belong, and and that gives me much more confidence coming into next opportunity.
If you're hearing from family, do you respond to everybody? Do you read all of them? How long did that take you?
Nah, I mean, I try to respond to everybody, because everybody's been with me on this journey. It's not just me. I mean, I'm in the building now, but like everybody has been with me, since growing up, supporting me in any way that they can. So it's really a whole village on this journey.
Do you have any friends and family in Chicago who were there?
In Chicago, I had some homies from Oregon State. They came to the game and showed, but I didn't have any family out there. Nah. Yeah.
Was there anybody you heard from that you didn't expect to hear from? Whether it was junior high coach or
Yeah.
something? I mean, like anybody that you were like, wow, I didn't.
I mean, I'm pretty close with you know, my high school coach and the trainers that I grew up working out with. Like, I still try to keep in touch with them, still work out with them when I can, and you know, they open the gym for me when I go back home too, so it's much appreciated. But really just everybody I try to stay connected with.
What it mean just have a practice? I mean, that's, you know, like there have been guys that have come and gone from this team that haven't practiced here.
Right.
How does that kind of get you grounded?
Yeah.
You know, when you have to figure it out on the fly in games to get one of these to get everything kind of situated.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it kind of just goes into building the habits. You know, the stuff that I could pick up from watching film, but then actually getting the reps in practice in a, you know, somewhat controlled environment, you know, gives me confidence for the game. So when an opportunity comes, I'm in the right situation. I know what to say and all that type of stuff. So, yeah.
You remind me a little of Ben Shepherd with how much you smile.
Yeah,
Is that always a thing, or did you ever get voted best smile anytime?
Nah, everybody tells me I'm always smiling, but I mean, it's my regular face, so I don't know.
Don't stop.
Yeah, got you. Appreciate it.